What's up, guys? Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. Please check below for timestamps to hop directly to your reading. Like, share, subscribe, take only what resonates, and make sure you check out the readings for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. All right, Aries, what's up? Let's take a look at your cards here. So, past, present, future. It looks like in the past you were feeling some type of way. Typically, this is a card about kind of shady dealings or feeling like there's tension in the air with someone in your life, maybe a little bit of backstabbing or suspicion or feeling like someone did you dirty, or somebody who is just looking out for their best interest. Sometimes there can be a selfish energy. Same here with the King of Pentacles. It may have been fights or disputes over money, values, resources. And when I say values, as in things we actually value, but also, yes, things that have value to them. But yeah, there was a difference of opinion maybe on what to spend money on or where to sort of allocate assets or resources. Page of Pentacles, to me here in the future position, says something about maybe needing to find a middle ground or meeting someone halfway. The King of Pentacles has a lot to give, but if what it's turning into is the Page of Pentacles, it's like they're offering something small. So if this is I don't know who's who here, right? But whoever this King of Pentacles is, I feel like I don't even know if meeting you halfway is the right way of phrasing it, but I think they're going to give you a little leeway, or they're going to contribute a little to the pot or the funds, or they're going to give a little. Maybe this even has to do with like seeking grants or loans or charity or donations. It's like you may not get everything that you want, but you may get sort of something to work with, right? Establishing maybe some sort of platform and needing to maybe build better credit for some of you, but also needing to establish some sort of trust or system where if this person is financing you or your job or whatever it is, you kind of have to put your money where your mouth is and show that you're a good investment. Now, maybe this goes vice versa, right? Maybe you're the King of Pentacles, but what we need to get rid of, what is not helping, what has been overdone or overused, we have the Five of Pentacles. So that can be lack mentality. It can be, poverty in some sense, whether it has to do with our self-worth or just really being in a tricky position with money right now. The key to success here, though, is realizing that there's people around that can help you, but sometimes with these cards, it's like we're too stubborn to ask for help, or nobody wants to be the one to break the silence first. Like if you did get into some dispute or fight, you both may be giving each other the silent treatment or playing hard to get or wanting the other person to apologize first. Ultimately, if you do want to work with this person, eventually you're going to have to break bread or try and make peace and see if there's some sort of negotiation going on here with the King of Pentacles where maybe you can reach a happy medium. Again, I don't know if medium or middle ground is the right term because it definitely seems like one person holds more power than the other. If this is, with your romantic partner or even someone in your family, maybe someone makes a lot more money and the other one doesn't. But if that's the case, it's almost like the person who makes less money or has less to give, they're almost in the spirit of being more generous. Does that make sense to anyone? It's like, maybe you only, what is that expression? It's like, you only give $5, but it's all you have in your pocket. But then, someone else who has millions, they toss in $1 or something like that, right? Whatever this is. So ultimately, this speaks to me about we need to break the silence of communication because two heads are better than one here. The kind of telltale sign to this card, or however you want to say it, symbolism, is that they're outside of church, right? They're shelter from the storm here, but they're so in their own storyline and narrative and not communicating with each other that they literally miss the opportunity for salvation or for rescue or something of the sort. So this is saying there's someone around you that by putting your heads together, you could probably come up with a small solution. Maybe it's not going to fix whatever this problem is, but it might, I'm wanting to use like a metaphor of like it's like putting a piece of duct tape over it, right? So it's like, all right, well, at least we're like damage repair, damage control. Then we actually have to make the plan to actually, fix it or rebuild it or, whatever, refurbish it, however this is. And then again, so in terms of what is helpful, what is useful, what is needed, what is something we're not taking advantage of, you have the Three of Pentacles. So that says teamwork. It's a card of teamwork. So I don't know if you're trying to save the world by yourself or do all the heavy lifting yourself. I don't get that necessarily. necessarily, because I think in the past you tried to collaborate with someone, but whoever you're collaborating with, you guys don't always see eye to eye, and that has become a thorn in your side. But here's the thing, I don't necessarily see you abandoning ship with this person. I think there's a period of stubbornness, I will say that. But eventually I think someone's going to break the silence, and this almost feels like, hey, can we talk? Like, or hey, I have a new idea. Will you hear me out? And if you have decided to part ways with someone who you were collaborating with, it could be that some of you realize that it's not the universe saying no. Maybe the universe is trying to usher in a new partner or a new collaborator who's more on the same page as you. So that way getting this work done is going to be more efficient, but also you're going to enjoy it more because you're working with more like-minded people. So keep that in mind too, especially if you're applying for like a loan or a grant. I don't think the answer is no. Some of you might just be barking up the wrong tree. You may be asking the wrong person, or there could be some sort of solution that you don't know about yet. Maybe a friend or a coworker or a collaborator has been like, oh, well, I got my loan or my grant or whatever of money from this entity. You should reach out to them. And you're like, oh, I hadn't even heard of them. Like, so they're a solution, but it does have to do with teamwork. Teamwork is a big keyword for you. We're going to pull a money oracle card just for those who are interested. Let's see. Growth. Expect good money flow, a raise, or a new job offer. It is important to, It's important to unlearn to grow as rules continue to morph and change. I don't really know what that means. And then let's see. You're delaying your growth. The process of healing is worth doing. All right, that's your oracle message. Thanks for joining me, Aries. Please like, share, subscribe. I will see you next week for more tarot. Bye, guys. So in the past, there seems to be confusion about a romantic prospect. I don't know if that's going to make sense to any of you, or some collaboration, but yeah, I don't know. I'm almost wanting to say if this person was left you feeling some type of way, like in the dark, like you didn't get clarity from a lot, you were feeling kind of confused. Somebody, their words didn't align with their actions. They said something and then didn't follow through. I don't know. There was just a lot of like, it could have been arguments, but with the moon, it's just a lot went unsaid. It was like trying to get like an emotional pulse on the situation, and it just felt like there was a blocking, or this person wasn't emotionally available, or maybe you tried to I'm hearing initiate or instigate some sort of conversation or open up lines of communication, and they may have gone silent on you. What's interesting though, if that's the case, is with Ace of Wands in your present, there is going to be some sort of new invigoration, or I am hearing collaboration. Interesting. Probably because of this card. But some sort of new communication or something that makes you feel really inspired. It brings light back to your life. So then in the future, you have what is, to me as a reader, undeniably romantic. So I don't know if this could be a lot of scenarios. Maybe this is something going on at work or in a friendship, in which case, maybe you let that fall by the wayside and you start investing more time in your current relationship. Maybe a new relationship comes in and you just get swept away, and it feels really exciting. It feels really passionate. It feels really magical. It could certainly, be an improvement to your sex life if that's something you're seeking. Feeling loved and appreciated. I don't know if it's by this person per se. Essentially what you need to release though is the sun. So for some of you, you may need to quite literally release a Leo. Others of you, you need to release someone who has really childish behavior and they just don't know what they want, or they like to play games, they're silly. And I get it, like this energy can be fun to be around, but if you're looking for something very serious and committed, this is a person who loves their freedom, and not necessarily in a bad way, but there sometimes the sun, especially if we're needing to lose it, there's an element here of being a little bit selfish, where it's like, this is my world and you're all just living in it. And so if that's what this person is emoting, essentially, like you're part of their life when it's convenient for them, some of you, your guidance is to set yourself free from that. Ultimately, you need to pursue and I hate to say chase, but more or less pursue something that makes you feel alive, something that makes you feel great, something that makes you feel inspired and beautiful. Now, what's interesting, some of you have already discovered what that is with the Ace of Wands. So some of you just need the confirmation that if a relationship or a collaboration in the past left you feeling confused, maybe that was, rejection is divine protection. Maybe that was actually a gift from the universe and you're only able to see it now because something so much better has come in and sort of lit you up to see that, like, hey, there's people that are going to show up for you so much more. You don't always have to play rescuer or chaser, or, you know, you don't have to constantly cater to them and their schedule. The right person is going to make time for you and make you feel really special and give you a lot of warmth and give you a lot of attention. There could be someone coming into your life or presently in your life that is an artist or a creative of some kind. Maybe you're collaborating in some sort of, like, I don't know, music group or pottery club or something that there's, you know, being a Venus ruled sign, there's a lot of element of, like, it's funny, I'm hearing sensuality too, so I don't know. Classic Taurus, right? All the five senses. But yeah, some sort of collaboration that is very creative by nature, that could also be beneficial to you. I don't want to say as a distraction, but again, the universe is trying to get you to see something that exists in your life already or that is around you that could be really lovely and really beneficial to you. So take advantage of that. Something about candles and scent and aroma is coming through, aromatherapy. Maybe you're making candles, or I don't know what that is, but something about that's very important. So yeah, you need to release something that doesn't want a commitment or attachment if that's what you're looking for. Also, childish behavior, pay no mind, just move on. And it's not about pretending to move on and actually holding a grudge. It's like, I don't have time for that. And, like, you know, I think that's important for Taurus too, you know, being opposed by Scorpio. Don't hold on to the grudge, right? It's like swallowing poison and expecting the other person to suffer. Let it go. Understand that it's probably clearing out some clutter in your life to make room for something that is better and more longer lasting, and it's going to have more staying power. What you do need to take advantage of or lean into is the fact that you're on the universe's timeline, right? So everything is coming to you in divine timing. This is reassurance that your ships truly are coming in, but you need to be a little bit more patient. And also get clear on what it is that you want, because again, if there's still this shoulda, coulda, woulda energy with an X, I think the universe is like, but Taurus, like, you pulled out all the stops. You did all the things and they still weren't interested, or they still gave you, you know, peanuts, right? They weren't giving you enough that was sustainable or satisfying. And so I think it's saying, are you sure you're still going to, like, romanticize that or hold on to the idea of what that was? Because this almost feels like a 180 to me. Something about the sun and the moon. Your sun and moon placements may have been very different or something like that. Something about it, there was opposition. It was a push and pull. It was a struggle. And something about an upcoming full moon may actually be very significant. So I don't know if it's a full moon in Pisces or maybe a full moon in Aries. Something about that timeline is, I don't know, it's going to illuminate a lot more to you, where you're going to be able to see things with more clarity, especially in regards to the past. Something that I think you're working to release, but there might still be some strings attached mentally or maybe emotionally. Maybe, you know, it still pulls at your heartstrings to see that person on social media. Again, maybe you got to clear out some social media. All right, let's pull a money card for Taurus. For those who are interested, what is something that I can tell my Tauruses regarding their money in the coming few weeks? Ooh, so this says luck. Anything you do now will be very prosperous for you. If you believe that you're lucky, you'll create an abundant mindset. And then it also says your perspective is stifling your growth and stamping on your luck. All right, so keep that in mind. All right, thanks so much, Taurus. Like, share, subscribe. See you next week for more tarot. All right, Gemini, what's up? Hope you guys are doing well. Let's get some tarot messages for you. You're moving towards love. I like that. Open up your heart space more. Make room for new love and relationships in your life. You need to release the past. You also need to release a more traditional or conservative mindset, especially in regards to love or communities and friendships. It's like there's really beneficial connections that are trying to enter your life, but some of you, it's like you have your blockers on. You're not seeing them, or it's almost like you're denying yourself the pleasure of new friendships. And I don't know why that is. Maybe you're just going through a tough time and maybe you're in crisis mode, holding on for dear life. More than likely though, you are fixated on something from your past and you just can't let it go. There's almost a mild obsessive energy here about trying to think about something and wishing that you could work it out in your mind so that you can, I don't know, like I'm hearing restoration. I don't know if you're trying to get something back or establish some sort of peace. Ultimately, your present card, you have the Five of Swords, and the Five of Swords essentially leads to the Six, where we want clarity. We want to be able to move forward. We want to have, made progress on something that we're kind of stuck up on. It's definitely consuming our mind, especially with devil energy, but you've hit a roadblock here. So here's the thing, and hang with me. I'm not going to be the bearer of all bad news, but there's something that you are wasting a lot of mental energy on that the universe is saying to me, it's not worthwhile. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the energy, because ultimately you've hit a roadblock and it's like, you shall not pass with the devil energy here. The purpose of this, though, Gemini, is to get you to see an alternative route or an alternative path or an alternative collaborator. This may even have to do with family dynamics. There's something very conservative, wanting to do right by your parents or wanting to do right by tradition. But here's the thing, Capricorn energy, Saturn energy, which again is all about, tradition, what is tried and true, the age-old method, slow and steady wins the race. Sometimes, but here's the thing, if we're being asked to release that and move into sort of Knight of Cups energy, you're meant to explore an alternative route. You're meant to be a little bit more adaptable, which is such a good Gemini word, right? Mutable energy. It's kind of Pisces energy here too, and the Knight of Cups leads with his heart. He's not so concerned about the logic or the detail. It's more the intuitive feeling. It's more the emotions driving the bus. And here's the thing, I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing in this spread. It's the data and the logic and the details that seems to be tripping you up. It's like, it makes sense on paper. Why isn't it working? I don't know, but here's the thing. It's neither here nor there, because you know that it's not working. And so this is like, all right, what else we got? Where else can I go with this? What other connection haven't I explored that could offer me what it is that I'm looking for, which ultimately is going to be more soothing. It's going to be more satisfying. It's going to bring more peace and harmony into your life. It's going to be like good medicine. I don't know if that makes sense. Literally alternative medicine is coming through too. So maybe something more holistic, or I don't know if that makes sense to anyone. Knight of Cups is an excellent card of going on a date. It's also dreamy, hopeless, romantic energy. It's an excellent card for anyone who's pursuing something creative or artistic. In the past, though, again, we have this Four of Pentacles, which is like holding on to things at the risk of not being able to accept a new blessing. It's like we've got our hands really tied up in the past, or really tied up in some scenario, again, with family or relatives, legacy, history, tradition, trying to do something right. And I'm almost wanting to say for you, Gemini, who are you people pleasing or trying to please? It almost feels like you're trying to do right by your parents, or you're trying to do right by your boss, but your boss may have a very outdated sense of what's working. Typically, most of the Geminis I know, and I'm just speaking from personal, I'm not, projecting that onto this reading, but most Geminis are pretty savvy in terms of implementing new plans that are going to be a little bit more innovative, right? You are a sign that is trined by Aquarius, meaning that you guys very much are able to receive those downloads from the universe of like, hey, this is a little bit more progressive. Let's implement it. Like, let's make it work faster. I think that's a very Geminian type thing. And yet something here is weighing you down with Saturn energy, where it's very heavy, it's very slow, it's very traditional. Now, I'm not saying we need to pick up the pace immediately, but I think there is a more efficient way to do this. Or if it's not efficient, there's a way that's going to be healthier or more beneficial. Again, something about this card is I'm wanting to say it feels like good medicine. Pursue other options. If you are still coming to terms with a relationship that has ended, or something that was maybe friend-zoned, and maybe it's a more sex-based, but in your heart of hearts you do want something more traditional, that's fine. But again, you might be barking up the wrong tree. It might be saying cast out a wider net and see what you catch, because I think there's something else. I know there's something else out there for you that is less toxic or less, give me a second, there's less suffocating. There's something very suffocating about this. And some of you need to purge. You need to let go of old things. It's like, what is that expression? Like, at what point do the things that you own start owning you, because you have so much stuff, right? It's like we got to give to Goodwill, donate to charities, whatever it is that you do, all this old stuff that you're holding on to, keep some of the stuff that you're sentimental about and you love. But again, like, at what point is it just stuff, Are you connected to it on an emotional level? Marie Kondo, does it incite joy? Does it bring you joy? Otherwise, it's just making your life more chaotic and heavy. Let's pull a money card for Gemini for those who are interested. Anything about money this week, since we're in Virgo season. Hang in there, Gem. Hang in there, Gem. So this says angelic help. This is the time to trust the universe and know that you will be provided for. There is a career or blessing lining up for you, so stay positive and believe. And I love that there's two, something about the twins and Gemini. Something about duality too, and maybe doing two things at once or a merging of two. Yeah, something about a merging feels very significant for some of you. All right, Gem, thanks for joining me this week. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next week for more tarot. Bye. All right, Cancer babies, what's up? Let's see what's coming in this week with the tarot. I'm almost getting that you need to push through a little bit longer. You need to hang in there just a little bit longer. Not something I typically get with the Ten of Wands, but hang on. Because you are making more progress than you think. There's something here about don't abandon ship, not just yet. Some of you, a romantic entanglement is getting in your way of accomplishing something very big, either in your career, in your personal life. If you have recently been doing kind of the Virgo thing of cleaning up and clearing out and decluttering, organizing, getting things in a more efficient, utilitarian way, amazing. The universe is wanting to congratulate you on that. It looks really good. Wow, so in the past, you have the Ten of Cups. So coming off of some sort of recent win or some sort of happy family dynamic, and, friends are the family we choose. But yeah, I mean, in your past, you have Ten of Cups. Then there's progress. So it's almost like you got a taste of something really happy. Some of you may have had a vision or a dream, or quite literally experience something like a taste of what's to come, and it's really motivated you to like get your butt in gear and be like, okay, this is what I want. Like if I can achieve this, just think of what I can do. I love this. This feels like you've reached some sort of goalpost or had some sort of significant win in your life. And big or small, it doesn't matter, because whatever this is, it was like a happily ever after moment. It was like a fairy tale ending moment. Now, that being said, we have that, and then, it's no longer the honeymoon phase of it. We get used to it, and then it's on to the next thing, right? It's a cycle. Any tens are about cycles, and you do have two tens. But whatever this is, don't take it for granted. Remember how good it felt and continue to use that emotional connection or that emotional feeling to further drive you forward, to do more fact finding, to do more researching, to get more knowledge, to implement things in place and, continue with this momentum, because you are riding the high of something, quite literally. Some of you, maybe there's just a really good vacation, something like that. Maybe you traveled and it felt really great. There could be someone coming to visit you too from afar maybe, and then someone who means a lot to you. Maybe it's a good friend or a relationship or something like that. And then you have Page of Pentacles. So there's something about riding the emotional high of something and then wanting that to be more long lasting or sustainable and doing work to build that to be something more steady in your future. It's like you got a taste of something good and it's like, all right, let's keep doing that, because whatever it is, you accomplished it, you manifested it, you achieved it. And again, it's just like a small sliver of the puzzle, a piece of the puzzle of what you're capable of, the potential that you hold. Maybe this has to do with a recent pay raise or something to do with money and finances. I don't know. So then what you have to release, interestingly enough, is the romantic card. So what do you think that means? For some of you, it's almost like holding yourself accountable for making good on the wishes and dreams that your parents had. It's almost like you've put yourself in some sort of mental prison. I'm not getting Eight of Swords, but I'm seeing it in my head, of trying to make your parents proud or people pleasing or trying to make up for what your parents didn't have. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself in regards to carrying out like a family legacy, or I don't know, trying to achieve something. But I gave a similar message, I think maybe to Gemini. It's like, are you doing it though because it's what you want or because it's going to make the people around you happy? And I think it's lovely that Cancers love to take care of their people. Family is a very important word to Cancerians, right? Even if it's not your bloodline. But yeah, there's something about a shift in perspective or a change in realizing what makes you happy and going after that. Others of you, again, there's some sort of relationship where it's just getting in the way right now. Now, for those who are happily married, it could just be that you're not going to be able to spend as much time with your person in the next couple weeks because you're going to be really busy. But that's okay. The thing is, if we're being asked to take advantage of the Ten of Wands, this is like really getting some things in order because it's going to make your life easier later. Maybe doing some research, or again, something about cleaning, decluttering, organizing with these two cards is really coming through. And I mean, what great words for Virgo season, right? You know, the most cleanly of the zodiac signs, and wanting efficiency. Efficiency is such a good word in Virgo season. Something that I think Cancers can appreciate too. But yeah, it's like there's some heavy lifting going on right now. Maybe quite literally you're moving houses, or you're moving offices, or you're moving jobs, or moving heavy stuff from your parents' basement or attic. I don't know, whatever this is. The heavy lifting, though, is required in order to make more room in your life for whatever this happiness and, there's a good word for it. Elated. I'm hearing like elated, this magical feeling that you got a taste of. There's more of that to come, but this is necessary in the in-between, whatever that is for you. So for you, Cancer, it just feels like roll up your sleeves and keep doing the work. This is not time to quit, because there's another good break coming to you. But so if you're obsessed about an ex, or you're sad that someone rejected you or whatever, that's just getting in the way of you doing significant work. And I think it's saying for some of you, like, there's a reason why the universe pushed pause on this relationship, or why, rejection is divine protection. There's a reason why that happened. So don't make it a concern. It's like when you roll up your sleeves and do the work on you, on your life, on things that make you happy, something is going to fall into your lap romantically, and you're not even really going to have to work for it that much. Balance it out. Don't be a workaholic, right? Obviously, everything in moderation here. But yeah, romance, at least this week, it's kind of on the back burner. So again, if you're in a happy relationship and there's no issues there, that's fine. It might be saying you may have to cancel plans with your person. Maybe you can't do date night this week because, you got bigger fish to fry. There's something very important coming in, and do know that whatever this hard work is, it's not going to last forever, but you can't run away from it. There's something about don't avoid it, roll up your sleeves and deal with it, because then you'll be able to put this heavy load down, and I'm hearing we can relax now. It's going to be worth it. You're going to feel incredible after, and you're also going to get praise and compliments or attention, or again, possibly a pay bump or some sort of monetary prize or gift for this, or I don't know, it's putting you in the rankings to be seen as something different and more capable, more accomplished. I don't know what that is, but all right. Money card for Cancer, for my Cancers who are interested in money. So this says loss. A major phase of your life is ending. Embrace newness. Let go of what was so that you can focus your energy on what is ahead. So maybe some of you are getting out of a long-term relationship. I could see that as well. Somebody who at one point in time was your happily ever after. Maybe you've decided to move on and date someone else, in which case what you're putting down is maybe a long-term relationship, decluttering, your stuff, moving to a different apartment, getting rid of the old memorabilia that doesn't suit you anymore. And again, it's like clearing shit out to make space for what is coming into you next. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. This is about trusting divine timing, that if at one point you felt this happy, rest assured you'll be able to feel that again, but you do need to put something to rest. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next week for more tarot. Bye, Cancer. What's up, Leo? How you guys doing? Let's see what's going on this week for my Leo gang out there. Ooh, something unexpected is coming into you, and it's a good surprise. It's gonna wake you up. It's gonna shake your shit up, but it's gonna liberate you from something that you've been struggling with. So in the present energy, you have the Hermit. So maybe a little isolation, maybe just being more self-focused. Maybe, we're in Virgo season. So for Leo, representing maybe doing some, I want to say doing some thinking about your money, your finances, your life, what you value, who you want to be with, what you want to do in the future. There's a lot of organizing of your life. It seems like thinking about long-term goals and life plans in a very Virgo way, getting down to the nitty-gritty details. It almost feels like you're making a 10-year plan or something like that. What you need to release is your harsh self-criticism, or holding yourself hostage on mistakes that you've made in the past. You need to forgive yourself. You need to liberate yourself. You need to send set yourself free because you only know what you know and you did what you thought was best at the time and you've learned from it. So a lot of you, it's like you're being very harsh and self-critical, but something about that is not allowing you to further pursue or explore opportunities that could be really amazing for you. This almost feels like a card of playing it safe because something recent or maybe in the recent past came through and it kind of shook you. It shook you to the core, or it gave you some sort of, I don't know, wake up call, but something about you felt the bounce back, you felt the heat, you felt the impact, you felt the ricochet, or however you want to say it. And so now it's like you're apprehensive or you're shy to do something. Some of you, it almost feels like you were reprimanded, or someone said something to you that you took very personally, and it kind of blindsided you. It almost feels like a family member addressed you, or a friend, or even a coworker. Maybe you got in trouble at work. Not in a petty way. It feels very deep. It feels very like it hit you at the core, emotional, whatever you want to say. It's like somebody shared something about a time where you slipped up and did something and it really impacted them and it really hurt them. And now it's like you feel like you can't fix it. And I think you feel very shamed or you feel very guilty. But again, the universe's message to you is you slipped up. And props to you for being accountable for things that you wish you could change and fix. But ultimately, you can in the future. You can't rewrite the past. The past is in the past. What is that expression? The past is history. The future is a mystery. And something about the present is a gift. That's why we call it the present. I don't know, something like that. I don't know why I'm saying that to you. But essentially, we have to leave the past in the past, but make good on those plans, essentially, to make better decisions in the future. Yeah, so in the past, there was some sort of sneaky energy or sly energy or kind of, I don't know, sneaky behavior, doing something that maybe you knew wasn't in your best interest, or maybe this is someone around you. Maybe you keep letting someone back into your life who doesn't treat you right. I don't know what it is, but the Hermit is ultimately saying you learn the consequences of that behavior or that action. Now, maybe you're more of the innocent party. I don't know who's who here, but ultimately the 7 leads to the 8. And so by participating in this sort of in and out, flighty, indecisive, kind of like clandestine, shady, secretive stuff, you ultimately learn that there's consequences that don't make you feel good. And maybe there's like legal ramifications. I don't know, this is like insider trading, or you know what I mean? Like metaphorically, it's like by doing something in your past that you know probably wasn't a good decision, there's something here of learning the heavy consequence or the heavy burden of guilt or shame. But ultimately, the universe is saying we can release that as long as we've learned the lessons surrounding it. And now we have a new game plan or a new set of rules by which we can operate in order to make better decisions in the future. This is about self-forgiveness. I hope you're interpreting it as that. I am not here to further make you feel bad, but it is acknowledging that you guys are holding on to a lot of heavy energy this week. And in Virgo season, which is all about cleanliness and order and getting things back on track, making things work right, making things efficient, being disciplined, doing the work, right? It's an earth sign. There's definitely some soul searching going on, but again, there's something, with Virgo Pisces energy, it's like, how do we want to serve? How do we go out in the world and serve others while not ignoring our own gifts and purpose, but making those work together? Virgo is more about practical service, while Pisces is more about like the spiritual service, right? And so maybe it's both for you. But we have to remember, the Hermit looks kind of a grim card, but what starts off as the star in his lantern, it's very small, eventually it becomes the star in the sky. It illuminates the whole damn sky, right? So with that, there's something that, I'm hearing the word precipice. There's some sort of light inside of you. There's some sort of gift that you're wanting to share, but it's quite literally caged right now. You're not really letting it emanate its full light. You're not really showing it off to the world. You're maybe not speaking your truth. Maybe you're being a little bit private about it or questioning if this is the right path for you. The universe is orchestrating something for you where this light is going to break free. It's going to be liberated. And maybe the light is you, right? Leo, in metaphor, you are the sun, quite literally. I mean, that's your card in tarot. But with this, it's like something that it's long It's long overdue to be busted out and broken free. You know, metaphorically, it almost feels like jail or prison. It's like you've been holding yourself hostage in this situation and playing it safe, or not feeling confident enough to really let your light shine to its full capacity. The universe, it's like they're coming in and they're not just passing you the key, they're like breaking the prison bars. It's like I'm literally seeing like metal being bent. You know, there's something about busting you free so that you can go do the thing that you're meant to do. The universe is going to help you get back on track, because here's the thing. You're not late to the party. You didn't miss out on an opportunity, but there was something that really held you up here. And with the Tower coming through, the universe is expediting you. There's something about putting it back on a fast track in order to get you to meet some sort of goal or accomplishment that maybe fell by the wayside, or maybe you just weren't aware of it until now, or it wasn't something that you were actively wanting to pursue. But this feels like some of you are ready now. It's like you're ready for that new course of study. Maybe some of you are quite literally going to go back to school or learn some new sort of skill or task or trade, embarking on some sort of knowledge, especially knowledge that's going to help you practice better self-care and self-love. Maybe focus more on your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health, you know, your diet, your wellness, all those sort of things. And then in the future, it's like, rolling up your sleeves and getting back out there. I think this is fun. I think this is sassy. I think this is Leo energy, and you may be getting involved in something that's a little bit competitive, or something that involves groups or teams dynamic, feeling less isolated versus getting back out there and, you know, joining the sports team or collaborating in some sort of fun, I don't know, theatrical group or stand-up comedy, or it's like hanging out with similar like-minded people where maybe there's a slight element of competition, but it brings out the best in you. And I think there's some sort of gift from the universe where someone is going to see you, and there's going to be something about, I don't know if nepotism is the right word, but knowing or meeting the right person at the right time could potentially skyrocket your career. Or if it doesn't have to do with your career, again, fast track you to something that you were meant to pursue or enjoy. It's going to be something good, but it comes rather unexpectedly. And it might there's a shock element to it. It's a little bit like, whoa, like with the Tower, it's not an easy transition. It's not like a small push or a nudge. This is like, I don't know, I'm seeing someone lighting a rocket or a firework where it's just like, boom, and we're off. So I think that will be fun for you though, Leo. I do. Money Oracle, angelic help. I think the last sign just got this. Oh no, Gemini got this. This is the time to trust the universe and know that you will be provided for. There is a career or blessing lining up for you, so stay positive and believe. Leo, thank you so much for joining me today. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next week for more tarot. Bye, guys. All right, Virgo, let's do it. Let's do it for my Virgo gang out there. Let's see. So you have some healing that you need to take advantage of. Let's see. So in the present energy, you are walking away from something that was emotionally frustrating, stifling. You just weren't getting what you wanted from it. And so you either decided to take a break or to move on. What do you need to release? Judgment. So you need to release judgment of this person. You need to release judgment of yourself, and you need to focus on healing. I know. You guys are already like, are you kidding me? It's my birthday season and that's what you're throwing at me? So what's going on in the past? Strength. So I don't know, possibly something with a Leo, possibly something that was more physically based, like especially if this is romantic, like a sexual connection, but maybe there wasn't enough substance to keep it going. And that could have been on your part too. I don't want to assume that you were the one that wanted commitment. That's possible, but maybe you were the one who was looking for something kind of, it's funny, it's being inverted to me. So this is either a cross watcher reading, or this has to do with a Virgo who you weren't necessarily looking for commitment. And I'm almost thinking that you got involved with someone and maybe were sensing that they wanted something more. And so I don't know if there was a discussion of that, or you were just trying to keep it at status quo until they kind of raised their voice to be like, hey, what is this? In which case, I'm almost getting the sense that maybe you had to end things, but you felt bad about it. There's almost an energy here of like, oh, did I play them? Or was I not as upfront about what I wanted? And I don't know if I'm necessarily getting that. Here's what I'm getting, and this won't be everyone's message. If it's not yours, check back, another week. But there's something here for Virgo about for a lot of you, I think that you were kind of clear that you were just looking to have fun, nothing too serious, but you knew this person was catching feelings for you. I don't know if it was intuitively or psychically or they told you, but either way, I think a lot of you are feeling guilty or shame or feeling some type of way because maybe you let it go on too long when you knew you probably should have cut the cord just to save them the heartbreak or the pain. And you didn't. And ultimately, that's in the past. So there is something about needing to release judgment of the situation, of yourself, of this person, because ultimately, what does that do? It just holds us back. It keeps us living a narrative it's in the past. It's history already. We can only move forward and make good on our decisions moving forward. But some of you may be doing some assessment about dating or relationships. And I don't know, for some of my Virgos, it almost feels a little bit like, damn, because I just didn't necessarily want to have a title, or I didn't necessarily want to put a label on it or have some sort of checking in system that denotes that we're exclusive. And yet I do sense that you're kind of missing this person, even though you were the one who at least emotionally wasn't available, or the one, I don't know if you quote unquote walked away, or maybe this person did because, ultimately they found out you weren't looking for anything more than like a physical thing. But okay, so here's an interesting message though. I think you both saw a lot of potential in the other. This is a Virgo card too. So for a lot of you, you were like this person's jackpot. I think they... And I don't necessarily mean to assume the tradition of marriage and kids and babies and it doesn't have to be that. But this person did see you at bare minimum being an exclusive relationship for them and something that could grow well into the future. I think this person put you on a pedestal and really, they saw a lot of value in you guys being together and hanging out. And it's possible that they felt like they invested a lot of their time and energy. Now, for me as the reader, there's a lot of blurriness here in regards to, well, what was said? If this was a dating app thing, what did the profile say about what you're looking for? Because there seemed to be either miscommunication, or if it wasn't miscommunication, I think there was the hope of one party involved that things, they would be the game changer. They would be the one that changed your mind because you would fall so madly in love with them that you would want commitment. I don't have a lot of commitment cards here, guys. I have to be honest. So whether you are the cross watcher watching on your Virgo, or again, you are the Virgo who maybe you just weren't looking for anything too serious. Maybe you just got out of a long-term relationship and just wanted to enjoy life and go out and flirt with people and not have any sort of, that sort of thing. I'm not saying it was purely sexual stuff. And maybe this involved a Leo or a Scorpio. It's possible. Where are we headed, though, in the future? Because in present energy, you're Eight of Cups again. So that is the quote-unquote walking away card. But that being said, it does remind you that there's a lot more out there for you to pursue. So sometimes this card can just be pushing pause to get a better assessment on how we're feeling about things. And how we're feeling about things, essentially, what the universe is offering to you as a gift. I want to be clear, as a gift is Three of Swords energy. So that says something got a little bit out of whack. People may be feeling some type of way, but what is in order? The gift, the blessing available to you is healing. Now, is that trying to heal something with a person in your life, or is that self-healing? Again, this is a general reading, so it could be either or it could be both. But what are we headed towards here? By walking away from strength, by walking away from sexual energy, a Leo, some sort of passionate connection, it could even be some sort of creative collaboration or project in that sense. You went rogue here or felt like there was something else that you needed to discover. I'm already sensing, though, that the grass is not always greener. I'm sorry. I'm so this is a very unusual message because I don't want to say there's a hero and a villain to this story, but it's almost like you have a change of heart. You have a change of mind, potentially. My cross watchers are leaning in right now. Because here's the thing, Virgo. For a lot of you, this person thought the sun would shine out of your butt. You know what I mean? This person really, really wanted to be with you. And I think in time, you're starting to realize that this person did check the boxes in a lot of ways. It could have just been that timing wasn't right. Maybe, maybe it wasn't personal. Maybe, you had been dating them for a month and you got a job in a different city and you decided to move for the job over the relationship. And here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, you do need to make decisions that are going to be right for you and your future, but I do sense that there's hang-ups about this. Now, why is judgment coming up in the past? I do think you need to release judgment and criticism of yourself, But in order to do that, maybe you need to make something right. Maybe you need to set things straight. Maybe you need to quote unquote rebalance the scales, right, with this Libra energy. Maybe you need to apologize. Or again, if this is self-healing, maybe you need to forgive yourself for stringing somebody along when maybe you knew that wasn't the right thing to do, and now you're really feeling the repercussions of it because you're like, oh, damn, like I really liked them, I really respected them, I shouldn't have done that. Like if something about healing is coming through. Thinking about the past needs to be released. So on the off chance that for some of you this represents healing a relationship, it's almost like if you guys are going to collaborate again and come back together after a break or a period of pause, it seems to me like you need to leave the past in the past and not hold each other accountable for what happened. You know, essentially it's like a clean slate. If we're going to come at this again, let's pretend this is day one. You know what I mean? Because ultimately keeping score, or however you want to say it, keeping receipts, as the young kids like to say, that's not going to serve this relationship if we want to declutter it, heal it, clean it out, and again, start fresh. So ultimately, where are we headed here? The Hermit. So a lot of self-focus this week. It seems like a little bit like soul searching, but again, the Hermit, which is Virgo energy, shines his lantern on where there is wisdom found. So there's wisdom to be found in walking away. But here's the thing. I think a lot of you had to walk away in order to see this from a fresh perspective or with new eyes. Now, some of you, again, there's such a strong message here of contemplating, was that the right decision though? So here's the thing, this was fated. I'm not saying that maybe you could have been more courteous to this person and not strung them along, but ultimately I'm not here to beat you up or criticize you. What happened. There's wisdom to be learned from how you reacted and maybe not feeling comfortable. I'm hearing like dodging the emotions, not feeling comfortable being vulnerable or wanting to have a really deep, in-depth conversation about feelings. Maybe it was easier for you to just kind of beeline and get the hell out of Dodge so you didn't have to deal with that. And yet it kind of didn't go the way you had planned because you're still dealing with it on a mental level. Now you're kind of replaying things and it feels like we need to go back to the past and clear things out at bare minimum for your own sanity. But also this was a lesson for everybody involved. And I mean, this feels very like a question mark to me in terms of someone maybe contemplating reaching out again or wanting a reunion, but I don't think either people are ready for it. This definitely turned into a love reading for me. Or maybe a friendship, something like that. But yeah, right now it's like focus on the reason why you walked away. And did you walk away out of fear? It is a Saturn card. Or did you walk away because there were too many laws and rules and restrictions? And with this, is there a middle ground? Can you have a more open, vulnerable discussion of what you're wanting and needing from this relationship and see if they can meet you halfway? I think for 99% of you, if you're still interested in this person and maybe you don't want to go full in, commitment, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, moving in together, having kids, whatever it is that you want, you may as well ask for it because I think this person might surprise you and at least entertain the idea of making some changes that would suit you both. Don't get me wrong. I think this person wants a lot more, but maybe if you can be honest about, I need you to be patient. I don't want to jump in head first. Like I need to get comfortable and see what's up. I think there's potential for that to happen. There's potential. Maybe it involves another Virgo, a Pisces, a Scorpio, a Leo. All right, let's switch gears. Let's get you a money oracle for my Virgos interested. Happy birthday to the Virgos out there, by the way. I can't remember if I said that. So this is windfall. You're about to receive a windfall of money or a pay raise. Money is currently in a positive cycle. I love that. All right, so ending things on a good note. Course of study, internship, needing to learn new skills, new tools, new information in order to boost up your career. That may be in running here too. All right, Virgo, thanks for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next week for more tarot. Bye. All right, Libra gang, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What's up with you? Let's see what's going on in the tarot. Ooh. All right, let's see. So past, present, future. Something made you really happy, possibly a Leo, it doesn't have to be, or there was some new creative endeavor, maybe something with your inner child, honoring your inner child, or something that quite literally involved children. Romance, dating, romantic partnership of any kind, but especially romantic stuff is coming through in the present. And then in the future, you have Justice. So this is interesting because these cards look lovely to me. This is someone who like lights your fire and makes you feel great and wants some sort of commitment with you. That is your card, Libra. And typically Justice does talk about negotiations and getting into contract with someone, real established partnership where there's responsibilities and sort of denotes, checking in and doing the right thing, being considerate of others, having open conversations, loyalty, trust, that sort of thing. Love this. Then like, what is this? It gets sort of complicated. So I'm wondering if there's two storylines kind of going on at once here. So in terms of what you need to release, you have the Tower. So the Tower is typically something that comes through and really like shakes your shit up, pardon my French, but like it's something kind of shocking or unexpected. Now, maybe with this, like it's something, it doesn't have to be something bad, but it's something that really blows you out of the water. It's something ultimately that liberates you from a chapter or a storyline that you were stuck in, and it's kind of like a big wake-up call, but it doesn't always happen in an easy way. So why is that coming through on what we need to release? Are you still holding on to something in your past that happened that was really, I don't know, scary or surprising, or I don't know, maybe it has to do with letting something in the past go because something that is either in your life presently or coming into your life presently is so good that the universe is like, let that shit go, right? We don't need to live our lives in the past. Or there's been a lot of messages about holding on to shame or guilt or fear of past errors or past mistakes, that sort of thing. Kind of makes sense to me. We are in Virgo season, and Virgo can be a very critical sign, especially self-critical, especially when opposed, being a sign opposed by Pisces, which is the biggest sign of guilt, right? So for a lot of the zodiac signs, there's been messages of forgiving oneself, or feeling like something blew up in your face and maybe you coulda, shoulda, woulda done more to repair it or bring it back together. When in reality, I think the universe is saying if something exited your life, trust that it was meant to. It doesn't mean that it was a failure or that you did anything wrong. And I'm not predicting this, but something about, maybe you got released from a job or something happened that really blindsided you. And maybe there was a period of needing to rebuild your life or get your confidence back or, do some self-healing, self-reflecting in order to put yourself out there again. I think the universe is saying you don't need to look at this as a curse anymore or that you did anything wrong because you didn't. Something that was meant to either wake you up and liberate you or to exit your life and more or less leave you to kind of rebuild and pick up the pieces. That was not necessarily a punishment. That was not something like, again, you didn't do anything wrong. In a lot of ways, I think the Tower is fated with a T. Fate, destiny, because ultimately it makes room for what is good and what is lasting and, things that are going to be healthier choices for us. But it could be that you really had your grip on something and didn't want to let it go. And the universe ultimately had to kind of come in and be like, no, we're going this way. And maybe there was some time where there was, again, a lot of grief or shame thinking that you coulda, shoulda, woulda done better. Others of you need to let go of control issues because and this is a completely different narrative, though maybe both will resonate for you. You may meet someone who lives their life one day at a time, and their energy is just very plucky, and I would say they have a childlike wonder. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily immature, and I think you're very attracted to them, but there's something about them that it's a bit of a wild card, and I think that makes you uncomfortable. Here's the thing though, I think for a lot of you, this person gets you out of your comfort zone in a way that is actually very lovely. You may have some control issues, especially if you're cuspy with Scorpio or you have something, maybe you have Venus or Mercury in Scorpio, the way you think, the way you love. There needs to be control. There needs to be a steadiness and a consistency. And, if you do resonate with Scorpio stuff, it's like Scorpios don't really like to be surprised, that sort of thing. And I think there's something about this person where their energy is a little bit alternative. They're untraditional. They kind of cut their own path and do their own thing. It doesn't mean that they don't treat you well. It doesn't mean that they don't love you, but you might need to release the control of trying to make this something before it's ready to be that, if that makes sense. I don't know if it has to do with putting a label on it or a title, or needing your person to like check in with you and share details on things where it's really not going to make or break the relationship. Obviously, respect. You need to know that this person is committed to you and those good things. But yeah, there's something here maybe for you, Libra, about maybe try something that you haven't tried before. And I don't just mean like, yeah, ping pong. Like, I don't necessarily mean an activity. I do, yes, by all means. But I would approach this relationship in a new way, with a new approach. Because ultimately, I think there's room for this to grow and be really beautiful. But what's holding you back is some modality or some mode, some modus operandi, I hate that word, of how you used to do things that maybe you haven't fully seen the vision that it doesn't work that way anymore, or at least not for you. In terms of relating and romance and dating and marriage, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you wanting tradition and wanting marriage, but out the gate, maybe you just need to get to know this person and see if you like them more. Or I don't know, there's something about sort of traditional with justice needing to put it in ink or down on paper when something about this relationship, it's meant to really shake you up, but in a good way. And I think maybe in the past you've had trust issues with someone, and so maybe it's put you in a position where you feel like you need to interview your person or know everything they're doing in their life. And I think the universe is saying, walk away from that old baggage of, I don't know if it has to do with fear or really paranoia is what I'm getting, thinking that this person is just a day away from cheating on you. That's not true. This is a clean slate, and so you need to operate as if this person has done nothing wrong, because in theory, that's what this feels like to me. This could be something very good and very lasting. I guess what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is don't self-sabotage because of past storylines, because those past characters or storylines that did you dirty or whatever happened that left some damage, you're still working on healing that. And it doesn't mean that you can't still be healing and still engage in this relationship. But don't self-sabotage by replaying narratives and holding this person accountable for other people in your life that didn't treat you well, because this has huge potential to me. Now, maybe the storyline involves a Leo, maybe it involves a Libra, in addition to you, of course, Scorpio, whatever it is, there's something about don't do that thing. You need to walk away from sort of the impulse to do something that it's not healthy for you. Again, something about paranoia or trust issues. I get it. You have them for a reason. Maybe that's something you're working through in therapy or counseling or something like that. But I don't know. I'm hearing like, don't take the easy way out. It would be so easy to throw your hands up in the air and just walk away and be, well, whatever. But there's something about this. This is worth considering, whatever this is. But you are going to have to play by different rules and get out of your comfort zone. And I will say, getting out of your comfort zone, this does make you a little bit uncomfortable because of the spontaneity of it. This person doesn't want to do every Sunday morning, we make pancakes and we drink coffee and we watch our favorite episodes of Netflix and then we go on a hike. That's our Sunday routine. Don't get me wrong. That sounds great. You're probably not going to get that consistent routine from this person, at least not initially. This is a person who they like to do something different. They don't necessarily want a set routine, or they don't want to be scheduled, every little bullet detail and, list making. That's not how this person operates, but it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with how they live. Again, as long as they're treating you with respect and you feel love and empathy, compassion, and literally passion, all those things, like try it out. Before I did your reading, I heard that REO Speedwagon song, Keep On Loving You. I don't know if that's significant to anyone out there, but as I was kind of shuffling your cards off camera, that song popped into my head out of nowhere, and I'm like, all right, maybe that's a message for Libra. It does seem romantic. All right, so on a different note, I love that you got Peacemaker. Money Oracle cards this week, for those who are interested. This says, you are being called to apply diplomacy and tact to a difficult situation. Consider politics, negotiations, unions, contracts, and any peacemaking careers. All right, Libra, that's what I got for you. I don't know why I turned that over. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye. All right, Scorpio, let's do it. So we are looking at your past, present, and future. So, past you have the Seven of Wands. So, this can indicate a little bit of struggle, a need to find your footing, some adjustment may have been necessary, possibly in regards to some sort of team dynamic or relationship. Maybe if you're in a relationship or a marriage, maybe it's not quite in the honeymoon stage anymore, and you're having to sort of, again, find that sweet spot where you guys can still do the heavy stuff, which you tend to excel at, but also, the fun stuff and keep it light. Something about some sort of dynamic or partnership. But with that, it opens new doors of possibility that, I don't know, the Seven of Cups here to me seems almost like confusion, not knowing how to proceed forward. If you are currently single or it's complicated, right? If it's not a legitimate, thing per se, if you guys aren't an item, it almost seems like you're struggling maybe to break through the walls of something, or maybe searching to understand someone because you don't necessarily have a pulse on what they're feeling or their emotions. Now, typically, Scorpio, you're very psychic, yeah, but there's something here where it's like the emotions are blocked or something isn't being expressed. Again, in regards to romantic partnership here. Typically, I mean, I suppose the Four of Wands every now and then could be a business collaboration, a really good friendship, but in traditional tarot, it's kind of like the marriage card, right? It's the 1111 soulmate card too, for those who are kind of into that sort of thing. Some of you, it's just like you're on the struggle bus trying to meet your person, right? If you've been single and going at it for a while, it's like you just keep meeting people who there's like a lackluster to them, or there's something that you just aren't feeling a super strong way. This is a Venus and Scorpio card. So it's funny, I could take this a couple different ways, like feeling overwhelmed maybe, experiencing a lot of emotions, but it's in regards to a partnership. So let's jump ahead here. In terms of what we need to embrace, we have the King of Pentacles. What we need to release is the Ten of Cups. So that's very interesting. I almost see this as, these are both excellent cards, by the way, in terms of long-term partnership, if that's what you're looking for. But it's funny, when we have to release the Ten of Cups, it's almost like we have to release the idea of a fantasy, all the bells and whistles and everything's just going to be magical and mystical and I'm going to be swept off my feet. I'm not saying you can't try and manifest that, but there's something about the fantasy of it, Pisces, versus the reality, right? The money stuff that we have to work around, like the limitations, right? It's almost kind of coming through as like Saturn, like as human beings, we have certain limitations we have to kind of work with, in this kind of lifetime, so to say. King of Pentacles is typically a Taurus card, so it is very money focused, but I also think it has to do with self-love here and not accepting lowball offers, making sure that you're being treated with a lot of respect, with a lot of courtesy, and sort of like putting your money where your mouth is. It's great to promise me the sun and the moon and the stars, but if you can't deliver on it, then you're kind of useless to me. So I think there's something about needing to be a little bit more grounded, needing to be a little bit more kind of like feet on the ground, knowing what you want and not getting swept away by the emotions of what could be or the potential that someone shows if they're not doing anything with that potential. And this applies to you too, Scorpio, right? It can go vice versa. But yeah, it's like we need to embrace the King of Pentacles. And for, I don't know, this sounds like a mean message. I don't mean it to be. It's like there's something about needing to face kind of the harsh realities of life and taking care of, like, not survival mode. It's not that. It's like taking care of the necessities, the priorities. I think prioritizing is a really good word for this reading. And so, if you're single and looking, it's not saying, hey, you're going to be single forever, but it could be that you are in a season or a chapter right now where you're needing to focus on more important things. That's for some of you. Now, if you are already in a marriage or an exclusive relationship with the King of Pentacles, it's almost like, again, we can't be romanticizing, someday we'll go to, fill in the blank, some tropical destination, vacation, location that we've been dreaming of. Because right now it's like we have to pay our taxes. We have to pay our bill. We have to put our kid through college or whatever it is. There's something King of Pentacles. It's very matter of fact. Like it does feel like a bill or some sort of like, I don't know if it's unexpected money, but an unexpected like, money that you owe. It could be. And the reason I'm saying that is because maybe it's putting a little bit more pressure on the relationship, on some sort of couple or, again, team dynamic, if you're maybe like an entrepreneur with a partner. And so it's causing a little bit of confusion of, oh, we thought we were headed here, but now this came through, and, our happily ever after, we're having to push pause on it, or this fantasy of the life we're going to live because we have all this money coming in, now we have to put it all into house repairs because that thing happened. Or there's something about being a little bit more focused on money, but it's not crisis mode. I want to be clear. It is requiring you to roll up your sleeves and do some work. And again, maybe it's putting a little bit of pressure on a relationship, or it's delaying a relationship that you're trying to build or work on. But it's almost like you have bigger fish to fry. There's a lot going on right now with the Seven of Cups. And so you're not in a place, Scorpio, where you can put all your eggs in one basket right now. Especially for my lady Scorpios, if you know what I mean. No, I'm just kidding. Play in the field, right? eggs in the basket. All right, I'm being ridiculous. Sorry. No, but I don't know. With the Seven of Cups, it's like we don't have the one thing to focus on. There's a lot going on here. It feels like you're spinning a lot of plates in the air, or whatever that expression is. And so you're having to sort of, I don't know if you can delegate or ask for help, or this is just, again, a season of your life right now where you have a lot of hands in different cookie jars because you have to. Maybe that's not the right expression, but yeah, there's something about, there's a lot going on. So just embrace that and work through it in a very kind of practical, serious, responsible way. You have to come off of cloud nine right now. This is not a time to be living on Fantasy Island or in your head, or, yeah, there's kind of like this, dreamy Pisces landscape. That's all fine and good. I'm not saying that's not going to be yours or you can't achieve that, but that's not where your focus needs to be right now. And it's almost like maybe not projecting too much into the future, Scorpio, like, oh my God, I met this person yesterday and this is the man or woman I'm going to marry. I think the universe is like, whoa, pump the brakes. Like, do we even like this person? Are they nice to us? Do they follow through when they make plans? Do they say what they mean? Do they mean what they say? Do actions match words? It's that kind of like, let's get serious. Like, is this legit or not? Again, put your money where your mouth is. That's what this feels like. All right, let's get you a money oracle card for those who are interested for Scorpio this week. Gaia, trust that the universe has a better plan than you do. Protecting the planet, herbalism, and working with nature in some way may be called for. All right, Scorpio, that's what I got for you. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next week for more tarot. Thanks, guys. All right, Sagittarius, what's up? Let's take a look at this. So, past, present, future. You have the Hierophant to the Three of Cups to the Star. So the Hierophant denotes some sort of buckling down, settling down. It's like solid rock. Typically, it's a marriage card or involving yourself in some sort of long-term agreement, something that's been set in stone, something that you need to dedicate yourself to. And it indicates, longevity through the years, but it's slow and steady. So something about this commitment made you very happy, very excited. Maybe for some of you, you even may have enrolled in school or a course, or I don't know if you're going back to university or something like that. There was a reason to celebrate. But then the star here almost indicates to me feeling like maybe you're losing your independence or your autonomy, I'm hearing. So it's like there's this need to be a part of something, but then missing maybe your old lifestyle, or missing your freedom and your freedom to have the availability to pick up and do whatever you want whenever you please. So it's almost like because of some sort of commitment or group or, club, team, whatever that you're involved in, you're having to sacrifice something in terms of like independence, or putting some sort of important dream or goal that you have for your own life, a personal goal, having to put that by the wayside for a bit, or maybe push pause on it. Because ultimately what you're having to release here is the Fool. So again, this idea of just sort of freedom, happy-go-lucky, living your life a day at a time, taking leaps of faith, there's something very unsettled and untethered about the Fool, whereas this energy of the Hierophant is the complete opposite. It's like a lead weight that's grounding you down to the earth, whereas this is just the hot air balloon that's taken off, right? Without those weights. So you're being asked to release the Fool. I also think the Fool is a very independent card too. And again, I'm not sure all of you will relate to this, but just kind of not having any commitment or any sort of like, hang-ups. There's something very free and liberated and exciting about the Fool. It's fresh, it's young energy, it's the first card in tarot, so sometimes it's a little bit naive or sometimes it's a little bit juvenile or innocent. Again, none of those things are bad per se, but because we're being asked to release that, it's almost like it's time to get serious. If what you need to embrace is the Six of Pentacles, this is saying, hey, remember that commitment or remember that contract where you signed on the dotted line? You essentially need to make good on that promise and roll up your sleeves and do the work. You have a lot of Taurus energy here. Again, Taurus is fixed earth, so there's a steadiness, there's a commitment. There's literally slow and steady wins the race is kind of like the Taurian motto. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not an instant success story. But you do seem to have helpful collaborations and networks and communities and people in your life that are going to help support you in some way or another. Others of you, you're quite literally working on a team. But I don't know, for some of you, it's almost like you're being asked to do your part. The universe is reminding you like, hey, you committed to this and now you have to make good on that promise to do that thing or show up to that meeting or help this group of people. And some of you are like, oh man, but like, it's like my favorite band is in town and I really want to go see them this weekend, but I promised to help at this charity event. Like that's sort of the vibe this has. This is not a bad reading. It's just, it's saying some sort of project or endeavor, it's requiring more of your time and energy and effort than I think you were anticipating, or just sort of the harsh reality is hit that like, oh yeah, I did commit to this and now I have to make good on my promise. You know, Sagittarius, you are the Knight of Wands for a reason, right? You're mutable fire. So there's a curiosity and a playfulness about you that is wonderful, but sometimes it's very dispersed. And so it's occasionally, sometimes Sagittarius can lack that precision, that focus for the long term, right? And you know, that's why jokingly the Knight of Wands is sometimes the player or the Casanova, right? It's like a little here, a little there, then I'm going to move on and do something else, right? You know, fire signs, right? You got to be careful. They'll burn you. Don't fall in love with them too much. I'm teasing you, Sag. But with that, and I mean, obviously everybody has different astrology and charts out there. So maybe you have a Capricorn moon or Taurus moon for that matter. And maybe your commitment to something is very steady. I'm not generalizing across the board, but there's something very flexible and freedom loving about Sagittarius, and something about the message this week is saying that's probably not going to be something that you have this week. You're chained to something. Or maybe that's not the right word, but you're committed to something, and I don't think there's any getting out of it, because here's the thing, there's almost a message, if you do, you're going to let down a bunch of people. It's almost like you're being asked to put others before yourself, or to have a higher perspective on the good that this is going to do, not just for you, but there's a wider spreading impact, or not ramification, but I think impact is the right word, where a lot of people are going to benefit from you pitching in and helping or doing this thing. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your children. It's not saying sacrifice or give up on your long-term dreams, but you may need to find a happier middle ground this week. Also paying greater attention to your health too. If you are a person who is in hustle mode and work, and you're also trying to squeeze in all the fun and activities, just make sure you're not burning the candle at both ends. Also, some of you, it's like the taxpayer is knocking on your door, so to say. It's like there's a bill that you've been dodging, and you need to work that extra shift to gain that money so that you can liberate yourself from sort of the, I'm just getting like everyone pays the tax, man. You can't escape that. There's something about paying what's due. Like, yeah, you have dues that are coming. I don't know what that is, but it's like, yeah, you can't dodge that bullet. Something is due, and you have to pay the bill. So however you have to figure that out in your life, you may have to sacrifice fun in order to, again, make that extra money or whatever it is, apply for that loan. So for your money card, you have designer. You're being called to tune into your individuality and express yourself. This is a great card of individuality. A career in fashion, art, or any artistic endeavor could be right for you, for those who are curious and looking. I also think, too, this is reminding you with the star, there's something very unique about the perspective that you offer to this dynamic or group or whatever this commitment is. For some of you, it's work. I could definitely see this being a work spread. You have such a unique vision and, again, creative ideas that they need you. There's something about maybe wanting to go rogue and save the idea for yourself. And I mean, take it with a grain of salt, but there's something here about doing what's right for the greater good and paying it forward, or something like that. Is like offering your gifts and talents without keeping receipts, without the expectation of, well, what am I going to get in return? Because there's something with these two cards about doing a good deed, being of service, right? It is Virgo season. So, all right, Sag, that's what I got for you. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next week for more tarot. Bye, guys. All right, Capricorn, let's do this. So let's take a look at your spread. Sagittarius had the exact same card in the exact same spot. The Hierophant, a card of commitment, a card of long-term growth and success. It is a card of getting focused, getting serious, doing the work. So you have that in the recent past. Maybe you signed some sort of deal or contract, possibly something to do with travel. I don't know if that's true for all of you, but in the present, you have a lot of messages, a lot of communications going back and forth. Something about shipping and receiving, too, is coming through. So I don't know if you're shipping goods or, again, messages, communication, back and forth, back and forth. It's a lot, though. It's very busy. Very busy. And there's something with Taurus and Earth energy here, you being a fellow Earth sign, about, you know, slow and steady. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. And maybe sort of the reward at the end of the tunnel is a good payout, is some money, or maybe money's coming in and now you have to make good on that loan or that investment or whatever it is. There's something about the goal here being money, whether it's paying it off or receiving it. You know, maybe you have a juicy contract in the works. That seems to be classic Capricorn, right? Something that's further motivating you, in addition to other things, you know, pleasure, work, whatever. What you need to release, though, is it's funny, it's being related to me as Moon and Taurus. That's what this card is. So there's something about the approach that might actually be a little bit slow. And so I'm sort of wondering, are we not picking up speed when we need to? Are we being too slow or apprehensive about something? Or are we not taking a side? Are we not picking a side? Are we trying to be too people pleasy? Or I don't know, bear with me. This message is a little bit funky to me. So yeah, let's see what else we can get from this. But there's something about being a mediator or being in the middle or not wanting to rock the scales, trying to stay balanced, you know what I mean? But here it's almost like we're down to the wire and it's go time. So this almost has an element of needing to crack the whip on the team or needing to roll up your sleeves and do the work, even though maybe you had plans, or I don't know, there's something, because essentially what you're being asked to embrace is the Ten of Wands. So I don't know, if we're being asked to embrace this, I think Cancer had this card as well. And it's like, hey, this is going to require a lot of work. And so if you're prepared for that and you knew what you were signing up for, then it's like, okay, the work has arrived. There's plenty to do. Some of you may be decluttering or cleaning out things, you know, selling things, getting rid of like junk in your house, or putting things on, you know, online, on, you know, whatever, selling things. Getting rid of stuff you don't need, but also there's an element here of having your hands full. And I will say, part of the element here with Taurus energy is it has to be sustainable long term. And when this card shows up, it's sort of questioning, oof, I may have gotten myself into more than I can handle here, and I'm not sure how much more I can do on my own. So here's what I actually think this is. The more I look at this, I think the Six of Pentacles is saying there's pride attached to being able to do it all on your own and being in the power position, being the one who pulls the strings or controls everyone around you. And I don't mean that in a malicious sense, but you kind of like to be the boss. Capricorn is big boss energy. And with that, I guess I want to ask, are some of you shy to ask for help or apprehensive to ask for help because of, again, would that be a blow to your ego that, oh my God, you know, I want to be able to do it all on my own, but like I'm breaking my back here, or I'm, you know, breaking a sweat, however you want to say it. I don't know, there's something here about it's go time. Especially with these two cards, you don't really have the luxury of being too choosy right now. Or I'm almost getting this idea of someone needing to look at a project or a person from multiple angles and kind of get a scope on it before they decide to like jump in head first. It almost has like a Cancerian vibe, like, you know, the crab, right? It sidesteps. It doesn't really go directly at something. It walks to the side, and, you know, symbolically, emotionally, Cancers need to get comfortable with things before they dive in. Here it's like, hey, we're sinking. Like, this boat is sinking, so we got to patch this effer up real quick, or else, you know, what will the consequence be? Maybe there's a lot of money on the line. Maybe whatever this project is requiring more money from you than you realized, especially to do with travel or a vacation. Travel expenses may have caught up with you. And I'm not here to be like the bringer, the Behringer, I don't know what the word is, of bad news. I'm not here to break all the bad news to you. But yeah, there's something about you've gotten yourself into a position where a lot of work is required. And so I think ultimately the thing I'm wanting to ask you here is like, how can we improve this and make it more efficient? And maybe for a period of time, we don't have that answer yet, and we are having to power through a little bit longer. I do love that the Ace of Pentacles is coming out in the future, because I do think that's going to serve you, but you're moving towards it. So that indicates to me, if you're waiting for a payout or a loan or to get paid for this project, it might not be coming in this week, but I do think it's here for you. Like it's in motion. But yeah, it's similar to the Sagittarius message, where you've gotten yourself into some sort of commitment, and now it's like you kind of have to make good on that promise. And I don't think that's usually an issue for Capricorn, but you might be spreading yourself too thin with this Moon and Taurus card. It's like, this is very much a card of charity and service, wanting to take care of all the people. And so maybe this is saying like, hey, maybe you can't do that favor for your best friend or for your sister or for your family this week because you got your hands full. So maybe it's, and not burning the candle at both ends, putting your energy into something that is practical. That's a good Taurus word. Something that needs to get done first. What are your priorities? I think you're being asked to prioritize here. This is very similar to the Sagittarius reading. Only you guys seem to be showing up and doing the work. If anything, you might need to ask for help. Sagittarius was a little bit more like, hey, remember you said you were going to do that thing? You need to go do it. Like they needed the reminder to not be the fool. You needed the reminder to, if we're not doing Moon and Taurus, it's like, maybe you're not taking care of your family this week. Maybe you're taking and I don't mean that in a negative way. It's like, if your family is very demanding and needy, and I think a lot of Capricorns experience that, you might need to have to politely say no. You may need to draw some healthier boundaries. My only caution to you though is, remember, this looks painstaking, whatever this is. So if this is a weekend of just like cleaning out your house and getting the work done, great, because there's an end point, there's an end date, right? But if this is something that you really have no idea how long it's going to go on for, you may need to formulate a better plan or strategy, because this is not sustainable. No one person should be doing all this work. Again, asking for help, delegating, maybe renegotiating a contract, saying like, hey, like I just can't do this, or my team isn't able to complete this. Like, let's talk money and see if we can come to some sort of negotiation. I don't know how that's going to go for you. If you are seeking to renegotiate, that looks a little bit challenging to me, but you can always try. This might involve a Taurus or a Sagittarius. So your money card is Underworld. Find unconventional ways to explore new sources of income. So this is very much connected like Scorpio 8th house stuff. It also says sex, death, hidden knowledge, probing into the mysteries of life. As the world evolves, so can your means of earning money. All right, guys, that's what I got for you this week. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for being here, and I will see you soon for more tarot. Bye. All right, Aquarius, let's do it. So it seems like in your recent past, something to do with money or goods, tangible goods, possessions, and either moving them, and I don't know, maybe you're decorating your new house or moving goods from one area to the next. Some of you may be really focused on charity work and doing some sort of like donations or fundraising, charity, something like that. You may have a King of Pentacles, which is very much like a big daddy energy card, coming towards you to make some sort of offer or proposal. What you're being asked to release is the Fool. It's so funny. These cards have come up in the last 3 readings, kind of in similar positions. So collectively, there must be something we're going through where it's like we have to give up a little bit of our independence or our freedom or our ability to just kind of live life a day at a time and not plan things or not settle down, because we're engaging in some sort of very important contract or some sort of responsibility that we have to make good on some sort of commitment or promise. Again, a lot of earthy energy coming through this week, and we are in Virgo season, so that totally checks, right? But a lot of Taurus energy specifically. So what you're being asked to embrace is the Six of Pentacles, which again, card of charity and donation, and a card of being of service, right? Big time Virgo energy. Keeping things in check, keeping things in balance. There's something very soothing and calming about this card. It's Moon and Taurus. It's taking care of your people, taking care of yourself, taking care of your life responsibilities. But with that, you don't need to, get your panties in a bunch, or you don't need to, get stressed out and angry, though, that can happen. But that's not the right approach. If you're sort of feeling stressed out by deadlines or something about perfectionism or things just kind of not going the way you had planned, the universe is saying, like, embrace that. Just breathe through it because everything is right. Just because something doesn't go the way we had planned, it doesn't mean you're not doing it right or that you're doing it wrong. It just means that, like, this is the way it was meant to be. And so there's something about rolling with the punches, roll with the tides. Rather than fighting it or struggling with it or trying to control the situation, let things kind of unfold organically or naturally. There's major progress and major steps being made here, possibly in terms of a relationship. Maybe some of you are entering into something that is a little bit more serious or a little bit more committed. Maybe you're putting a title on something. Maybe you're moving in with your significant other. If we're releasing the Fool, again, kind of this lighthearted, silly, juvenile, no strings attached, just floating by, living life a day at a time, that's not you anymore. Or if that wasn't you, maybe you're releasing somebody in your life who isn't serious enough, who doesn't know what they want, and they just, they're maybe not giving you clarity because they're very self-focused. Here it's like we're wanting to embrace someone who thinks about others, who again is very generous and caring with their time and love and energy. Even if this is a friendship, it doesn't even have to be romantic, but someone who knows that it's important to take care of the people around them. It's not just about them, right? Sometimes the Fool can be very much like egomaniac energy. If it doesn't have to do with that, it's saying we're going from a chapter where excuse me, we had the luxury of, excuse me, Aquarius. We had the luxury of our independence and didn't really have to plan our lives around other people. That's changing this week, Aquarius. There's something here about needing to consider other people's time and schedules and, dare I say, collaborating with them, meeting them at least halfway, meeting them in the middle. Maybe you're leading a group of people, which I think Aquarius is naturally excel at. And with that, I don't know, something about gathering money or gathering funds or fundraising or pooling people's money in order to, I don't know, maybe it's a family, you're going on a group vacation. You're like, all right, everybody Venmo me because I'm going to book the Airbnb tonight. It could be something like that too. King of Pentacles, though, in your recent passes, you have very good standing here. You are very grounded. You are more than capable of this. You have very good footing. For those of you who are worried about money, there could be something about you're sitting on a lot of money that maybe you've forgotten about, or you don't realize it's due to you or coming to you, or there could be an unexpected, I'm wanting to use the word like donor, somebody who comes to, I don't want to say save the day because it doesn't appear out of nowhere. It's not like this mystical energy, but it's someone who's very practical and this could even be your father. Like, yeah, I can lend you some money. Just ask. Like they're going to be very kind of like, non-emotional about it, but it's like, yeah, sure, what do you need? And because they know this is going to help you progress forward and help you achieve whatever it is that you're trying to achieve this week. There could be a lot of money going towards your children. Maybe you're paying off college loans or something like that. There could be money going towards your education, or going to, again, certification, education degree, particularly in nursing or charity. I don't know if charity is the right word, but some sort of job where you are very much of service to the public in a more, how do I want to say, like spiritual service. I don't know if that makes sense to anyone, but anyway, I'm all over the place here. All right, let's get you a money oracle card for Aquarius. Not a bad spread this week. In fact, you have very positive cards, but if anything, it's time to get serious. Or if the team that you're working in, if somebody isn't serious, you may have to have a very stern talk with them. Like, listen, I see potential in you, but like, we need to form a game plan on how we're going to, it's like setting them on the right path. Like someone may need to sort of buckle down a little bit and start showing up right, showing up correct. All right, for Aquarius, offering, look at that. The universe will meet all of your needs. Consider having a money altar. Call upon your spirit guides and angels to assist you during this time. That's so funny. When I said there may be like a donor or a benefactor or someone giving money, I was like, I don't know if it's so much like spiritual, but maybe it is for some of you. I mean, this card would sort of indicate that, if you're doing a money altar, maybe money is coming from all ends of the spectrum. Do your cinnamon abundance ritual. Look that up if you don't know what it is. In fact, my Aquarius best friend told me about that. So, all right, Aquarius, thank you for joining me today. Like, share, subscribe. I will see you next week for more tarot. Bye. All right, Pisces, let's do it. So, Looking at your cards here, past, present, future. It feels like there's a head over heart decision, or maybe your head and your heart are not on the same team right now. They're not working in unison. So in the recent past, Knight of Swords, a message coming through, feeling pulled in a certain direction, something in your brain like just nagging at you. You know, maybe Virgo season, you know, you're opposed by Virgo. The sun is moving through Virgo as well as some other planets. So maybe you're just feeling like stressed about planning and details and needing to pin things down, a lot of communication, a lot of travel, you know, a lot of, I don't know, money coming and going, things of that sort. Then you're showing up in the center of your spread as the Knight of Cups, which is very, you know, Piscean energy. It's leading with your heart, right? Keeping sort of, you know, your creativity in flow, your emotions in flow, you know, maybe being artistic or creative or spiritual. And then you have the Page of Pentacles. So I could also look at this too as possibly, if you, in a romantic relationship, potentially having to pursuers, and I feel like that's not the right word, having two people pursuing you and waiting to see which one is actually going to make a practical, real offer, like, hey, let's pick a date and go out at this time. Here, it just kind of seems like you're ready to proceed forward, but someone is either going back on their word or just, I don't know, hustling to try and do something, but then lacking the precision. It's like it's a little too scattershot or scatterbrained or something like that. It's lacking precision to actually make plans and do something, you know, to put a seed in the earth and nurture it and grow it and tend to it, that sort of thing. Interesting. So, you know, there's a couple scenarios coming through there, but then ultimately what you need to release is Wheel of Fortune. So that's very much Jupiter energy. You may have to sacrifice a trip or travel or something sort of fun. Or again, something about scattershot, being all over the place and lacking precision. You know, Jupiter energy, it always wants to grow and expand. It wants to be very inclusive, but again, sometimes it has trouble paring things down and focusing on one. You know, you are a sign ruled by Jupiter, as is Sagittarius. So we might be moving away from like a large scale thing, or again, having our hand in a lot of cookie jars and focusing on this, because ultimately what you're being asked to embrace is the Devil and the Eight of Pentacles. So this is a winning combination for doing the work. This is a combination, or I'm sorry, a message that has come up for almost every sign, and we are in Virgo season. Virgo is an earth sign, and it loves to be of service. You know, Pisces love to be of spiritual service, creative service. Virgos love to be of practical service, right? And that's what this is, you know, Saturn energy. It's the complete opposite of the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune says grow, expand, you know, zoom out. Saturn energy says no, zoom in, constrict, focus, you know, show up, pay attention, be serious. And that's really what this is. It's a Saturn card. So Saturnian energy, yeah, it's knowing that there is a long-term goal here, but we have to show up and be serious and do the work if we want to achieve everything that we want to achieve. Now, I think the Eight of Pentacles, similarly, even if it just shows up on its own, it's a worker card. It's kind of a worker bee card. We're not quite at the 10, so we're not rolling in the big bucks, but it is a card indicating some progress is being made. Eights are about liberation, so maybe feeling liberated from the grind or the hustle and being able to actually immerse yourself in work that you actually enjoy doing. But with that, you need to keep yourself honest. You need to make sure that you're dedicated to doing that kind of work every day, because it almost has this vibe of, you know, once you get the work from home job, the temptation to go out and, you know, play with your kids or do something because you're not kind of being micromanaged. There is sort of that temptation to maybe not do the hard work that needs to be done. And that's really your advice or guidance, is buckle down and do the work, because I think it'll be worth it. I think something good is going to come from this. Now, how that relates to love and romance, I'm not sure. I guess I invite you to kind of see if that fits at all. Yeah, for some of you, it feels like there was two offers here and you're waiting to see which one actually makes the investment in you. But I think it's saying narrow your focus. If you're trying to cast a wide net this week, it's like just focus on the one. If by any chance there's a Capricorn involved, my advice or guidance is to go with the Capricorn. The Capricorn will do the work for you. Yeah, really, it's about getting serious about the work that you want to put out in the world. And also, this is a Sun in Virgo card, and I think it's important to note we all have a Sun placement, right? For most of you watching, I have a feeling you're a Sun in Pisces. You were born in Pisces season, right? But whether you're a Moon in Pisces or whatever. The sun essentially says, what is your gift? What is the light that you want to shine in the world? And how is that going to impact others? Because, the light we shine, other people see it. Other people get warmed by it, right? Other people embrace that. And I think there's something here about when you put a piece of yourself out into the world, when you do something you love, everyone benefits because you gain something by doing it. The work feels meaningful. I think that's so important for Virgo and Pisces. But also people benefit from it because they get to experience the gift that you offer to them. So it's a double whammy here. And so maybe that's what this is, sort of this duality of the head and the heart. Can we get them on the same page? Maybe some of you are leaving a job and wanting to embrace something that it's far more meaningful for you. Now with that, initially, if you're going the entrepreneur route or whatever, maybe you're just joining a new job, the initial phase of kind of joining that new job and being, onboarding or whatever, it's going to require some work. But I think you've already gotten the taste of more freedom, or there's a taste that it's something that it's going to be way more satisfying for you because you're choosing to do something that is meaningful and speaks to your heart space. It's not just all about crunching numbers of, oh, can I pay my bills? Don't get me wrong, that's important. It's both. Saturn is all about the harsh realities of life. Hey, we need to pay rent. We need to pay for groceries. We need to pay bills, all those things. But again, can we find something that where you can meet in the middle? I hope that makes sense to some of you. Rather than just dream of all the things you want to do or how great life could be, let's make a practical plan and practical steps to achieve, again, one thing at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day. Releasing the Wheel of Fortune says, hey, we need to focus our energy. We can't be dreamy off in the clouds, kind of like Fantasy Island. I've been saying that to a lot of people. We have to get serious. We have to get focused. But with that, whatever we're doing, can we put a lot of our heart into it so that it's more enjoyable? Can we find something that's meaningful? Because that's the golden ticket here. That's what the universe is saying to you, Pisces. All right, let's get you a money oracle card. Partnership. You're manifesting a strong and successful partnership. Consider having a partner who can bring the experience you lack. Let's see. Some of your relationships may be holding you back from success. All right, Pisces, that's what I got for you. Please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you next week for more tarot.